Welcome to Clariot Noir. The following recordings are based on real events in Bridal Veil Lake. Stories come directly from the people who have experienced them. Listener discretion is advised. Starheart by Belinda Little. I was a teacher at the school through the early 90s until I made a transfer out of the district to Ottawa. I was young and didn't have a family yet, so I often worked late, listening to the radio in my secluded classroom off the tech wing. I taught civics and took a lot of joy in designing complex and engaging political simulations for my students. It wasn't unusual for the sun to go down without my noticing. But all this extra time I put in came to an abrupt end one late November. I'd had a really great day. Lots of engagement from my students in a tough month. There are no holidays in November, so it's often a number of long weeks with grim weather. I had a good idea for a fun activity for the next day, but what I wanted to do would require a lot of prep. I'm working away on my computer, listening to the radio that came with the classroom, when the station suddenly changed on its own, going from classic music to classic rock. It was an old radio. I turned the dial back to something I liked and went back to work. A few seconds later, and boom, classic rock again. Weird, but okay. I shrugged and turned it off. It turned back on almost right away, and the volume pumped to the max. Super weird, but not beyond explanation. I unplugged it, and that was that, for a little while. The silence that followed made me uncomfortable. No place is ever really completely silent. There are bumps and hums from furnaces, that kind of thing. Not then, however. It was too quiet, and my unconscious brain was picking up on some irregularity that my conscious mind couldn't identify. I began to pack up, though the activity for tomorrow wasn't finished. As I move for the door, I hear some laughter, kids laughing, in the hall. It's way too late for students to still be in the building. I go out of my room, ready to strongly encourage these kids to leave, but the hallway is empty. I walk my hall, long and narrow, and round the corner, and still nobody is there. There is, however, something else waiting. A dead sparrow looks deliberately placed on top of an exit sign. The body of the bird is intact. It's just limp and unmoving. Underneath the dead bird is a pile of dead flies, maybe a few hundred of them. I step over the pile and am very aware of the dead sparrow above me as I open the exit door. There, a few meters into the staff parking lot, is a crystalline star, floating above the pavement, just above my eye level. It's shiny and glowing, sort of like a really big Christmas star you'd slap on top of a tree. I'm too stunned to scream or move. I watch it as it floats slowly toward me. Then a wave of the most awful smell flies up my nose and coats my throat, making me gag. It's getting closer. It's going to bump into me. It gets closer and closer, and I get the idea it wants me to touch it, and I must not let it touch me. The plasticky-looking thing isn't what it really is. The sickening stench is a warning made up by my subconscious, trying desperately to come up with ways to get me to run. I back away, and my heel pushes through the pile of flies. I close the door and hold it shut. The smell gradually dissipates, and I calm down. Star or no star, I have to get to my car. I peek out the door, and there's only the empty, dark parking lot. I book it to my car and get the hell out of there. The next day, the radio, the dead sparrow, and the fly pile, gone. Nobody seems to know who took the radio. I don't work late anymore.